we think there's three big differences between creators and influencers, particularly from the standpoint of a marketer, from the lens that they would look at it. The first is the duration of the content. Within the Spotter Creator Network, the average video is somewhere around 22 minutes. When you think about a typical influencer video on some of the mobile-first services, those video lengths can be under a minute, somewhere in the neighborhood of 55 seconds. So again, the reason why that's important is because you have the attention of the viewer for 22 minutes as opposed to less than a minute. The second big distinction is the actual content viewing experience. 80%, somewhere around 80% of the content that is viewed within the Spotter Creator Network is on connected TV. That means people are engaging this content in their living rooms, on their big screen TVs, and it also suggests that it's appointment viewing. They're selecting a time to sit down and view this content. Whereas influencer content tends to be mobile first and is more sort of on-the-go viewing at times, meaning you are viewing this content oftentimes in between events, in the line for something at the grocery store. And the reason why that's important is because the attention differential is much different. When you are self-selecting to view a certain piece of content versus viewing something on the go, your attention to that content is much different. And then I think the third biggest difference is more than ever, content creators are now moving more into that realm of professional sort of studio kind of produced content. They're investing tons of capital in hiring teams, buying equipment to help produce content that sits more in that traditional mold of studio content or production content. Whereas influencer content still remains largely UGC and confined to the bands of what can be done on your mobile device. So if you're a brand or a marketer and you're thinking about these three things, creator economies have longer content, they have higher attentive and engagement forums, and they're creating content that is suggested more to be on the professional side or studio side. And if you're a marketer, I think that's important because the value of that content and the attention that you get from that content is deeper and stronger than what you would get from sort of shorter form influencer-based marketing.
Well, I was hoping you could discuss next just how brands can reach the right audiences and collaborate with the right creators for best effect. Are there any strategies, tools, platforms to connect with high-value audiences?
Sure. So in particular within the Spotter Creator Economy, a network of producers that we have, we think of our audience as being hard to reach and high value. And so what that means is hard to reach is kind of that traditional mold of they're younger, they are not watching linear television, and in many instances are disconnecting even from the big SVOD services that are gaining a lot of market share. These are people that are largely viewing sort of free content, YouTube, and are spending a lot of time on YouTube because creators are now creating this aforementioned professional style content. The reason why they're high value is because these are high income, high education, influencer types of people within the marketplace. So they have the money to spend and they're influencing their social networks and family on kind of what to spend money on. So if you're a brand, that's obviously high appealing. You're reaching an audience that is incremental, which is a very popular word in our industry these days, given the fragmentation of media sources. Mm-hmm. The second reason why this is really important is now that you've reached this hard to reach audience, there's an opportunity to have ownable moments with them. The big advantage, or one of the advantages of the creator economy, is that you can establish relationships with the creators and move beyond standard media tactics. So you can integrate with them with brand sponsorships, with integrations, with custom ads, all sorts of things that can amplify the connection between the brand and the content and have these ownable, winnable moments. And I think the third reason why this is important is, and in particular within the Spotter Creator Network, is there's a sort of a stickiness and positive externality effect, meaning once you watch or select a creator and start watching their content, oftentimes what you'll see is there's repeat viewing and binge viewing. They'll stay to the next video, or they'll go through the library and watch all the videos on demand. They'll also move to similar types of content creators. We have the ability to know where they came from and where they're going. And the reason why that's important is because there's contextual alignment. For example, if you are a sports fan and you watch a video about maybe sports highlights, and then you move into another video that could be sports talk, and then you move into another video that is sporting itself, that suggests that the viewer is a sports fan. And if you're a brand or a marketer that is interested in being sports adjacent, that contextual alignment is really important, and we can prove that out to you.
Now, as far as measurement tools, what can you tell us about those? Especially this idea of value metrics versus volume metrics.
Sure. So at Spotter, we firmly believe that there's a big difference between a value metric and a volume metric. And let me define what we interpret those to be first. A volume metric is that metric that speaks to more sort of the delivery of an advertising impression or content. It's the number of impressions served, or it is the frequency in which a viewer was served an ad. There might be marginally deeper metrics such as video completion rates or click-through rates, which suggest some level of performance. But at the end of the day, all they're really talking about is what did the campaign sort of achieve at a very cosmetic level. A value metric speaks more to the impact of that media. Did the impact drive an outcome that is important to the marketer? So if you are a brand that is a challenger brand or new to market, you might be more focused on a KPI that's awareness oriented. If you're a more mature brand and you're more interested in maintaining a certain level of brand perception, brand attributes might be important to you. If you are a mature brand and all you're trying to do is sell widgets, sales and attribution or proxies like purchase intent might be really important to you. So those are value metrics. Those speak to the effectiveness of the media. And we believe that that's really, really important because creators can drive that value. For all the aforementioned reasons, the duration of the content, the professional style in which it's created, the viewing experience that creates high attention, high engagement, combined with the fact that you're reaching an audience that's hard to reach and qualified, all that suggests that marketers should be spending money in this space to drive those metrics that are actually important to marketers that show success and are really the metrics that drive decision making on when you're deciding who to spend money with.
Well, Vineet, I know we've covered a lot of ground here. Looking ahead, what can you tell us about what people should expect from Spotter in the year ahead?
Well, at Spotter, we're doing a lot of interesting things. We continue to make big bets in our creators. We firmly believe that empowering them to continue to make good content that can be viewed by the masses is going to be something that will be a massive tailwind for brands to connect with. We're also doing tons of things to help sort of improve how creators can kind of make their content better using software solutions, using capital, and just doing all the things that we can do to empower them to provide content to viewers. Ultimately, our mantra is help creators win. And we're doing everything that we can to do that. And ultimately, we believe that by allowing creators to win, that benefits marketers because more people will continue to view them, and it's a great place for brands to spend their money.